Jiddu Krishnamurti speaks about the radical revolution, and furthermore he speaks about world peace. And I didn't understand what he was talking about at first, but he speaks to you personally, he speaks to you directly, he speaks to you on a peer-to-peer basis. So he wants you to find inner peace, and his mission was world peace. So if everybody finds inner peace, of course there's going to be world peace. As soon as you find the inner peace, you'll understand how senseless violence is. So wars don't make sense. Self-defense still exists, obviously. You need to defend yourself. Like, I'm not going to lay down and let someone kill me. But, like, I'm talking about human life, not some sort of saint or whatever. Like in real life, sometimes self-defense is necessary. But that's different from violence. So violence can be words, and like obviously wars going on, any violence, no matter how you justify it makes no sense. So that was Krishnamurti's mission for world peace. When he was asked what was his motivation, that was commonly his response. But world peace needs to start with one person at a time. That's why he speaks to us directly, peer to peer, friend to friend. And he tries to question our life so that we question our life. And this is where we need to take responsibility. So he's not our authority, he's not telling us what to do, but we need to then seriously take these questions and look at our own life, face our own life, take responsibility for our own life. If there's a certain fear I'm running from, I need to face it, I need to deal with it. And this responsibility we would like to outsource. We'd like to pay someone, we'd like to go to a retreat, we'd like to have that, I don't know, sacred hymn or mantra or whatever that then elevates us and stops us from searching. But the humble reality of it is that all you need to do is look inside and look at yourself. You need to face yourself and deal with yourself. What are your fears? What are the things you're running from? What are you trying to prove? What are you not saying when you're talking to your friends? What are you implying, but not saying directly? What is hard for you to talk about? And, you know, it seems like such a big thing because we've been living with it for such a long time. But it's a fear that we usually started in childhood. So when we go back now as an adult, it's a lot easier to deal with. For me, for instance, I was sexually abused as a child, and as a 10-year-old and later as a 15-year-old, and I thought this was my responsibility. I thought it was my fault, and I dragged it on as my secret. And then I had to go back to it as an adult and face it, and then I went like, hang on, these were adult men and I was a child, and now as an adult the same age I'm going like, this is crazy. Yes, I took the responsibility and dragged it on, but that was a weight that I was bearing with me unnecessarily. So as soon as I looked at it and faced it and went like, well, this is what happened, I accepted, and this is how I responded to it. But that was kid me. Adult me sees it in a different light now, and then it just evaporates, and it's a different, now I feel completely different about it, so I can talk about it quite easily. So if I hadn't accepted it, someone would have mentioned sexual abuse, maybe I would have gone quiet or walked away or not wanted to participate in the conversation. And now it's the complete opposite. Somebody says something that's a little bit like making a joke about it, and I go like, hey, I know we're joking about pedophiles, but do you understand like how real of a danger that is? for someone, a young kid. Like, I've experienced it, and it's crazy how, like, it was twice, it was friends, friends of the family. So it's someone you completely didn't expect it to happen, and like the situation I got in, I didn't know how to get out of because I was a child. Now as an adult, I would react differently. I wouldn't be falling into that trap anymore. So that fear stayed with me, even though I knew I could get out of it now. And it wasn't until I fully accepted the situation that the fear was basically gone. Like, I know I can still get into situations, but I'm more vigilant in those situations now. Not fearful, vigilant. Like, I grew from it. Like, it's a horrible situation, and it's like, I don't want to, like, that's in the end what happened. Like, I didn't want it to happen, but I learned from it, and that's the important part. Learned is the wrong, like, I don't want to condone any sort of violence, obviously. Like, it could have impacted my life massively. It did impact my life massively. And the people that did it thought that it was, like, okay. And I suppose that's why I'm talking about it now, because, small selfish gesture by a man that could have it could have such a massive impact on your mental health that you'd never get over it. I'm sure it was like one of the parts that I saw myself as tarnished, like damaged goods, like a broken jar that will never be sold, and I'm sure that played a huge part of it, because I wasn't treated well by my family, and obviously then that happened, and then just everything was like showing me that I'm worthless, unlovable, in my egotistical, childish mind. As soon as I could give that up, then I was fine. And this facing yourself, taking responsibility, like, even though some people did something to you, you dragging it on is your responsibility. And I'm sorry to say it, like, I'm not, I'm trying to be honest and sincere and direct, cut through the bull crap, and like, I'm sorry it happened to you. I'm sorry that whoever did whatever stupid selfish thing they did that had an impact on your life. But we can either let that weigh us down in the victim role, or we can take it and go like, okay, this happened to me, but I'm going to grow from it. I'm not going to let it, I just heard something saying like, a phoenix can only rise if it's rising out of the ashes. So it seems like a bad thing at the time, but when we look back, usually we'll see that it sort of made us a tougher person. It made us, one way or the other, we don't succumb to it, which is, we can fight back, we can rise, and we can succeed, and we can overcome what has happened in the past. We don't need to do it again and again. We can just be free to accept ourselves completely and live our own life, our very own life, not someone else's life, not dictated by my past or my perceived future or cultural ideas or beliefs. Your own life, your own unique set of circumstances that you can enjoy in your life. And it may not be what society says you're supposed to have. 99.9% of people in the world don't have that. We are normal, human, average, just like ants in an anthill, We think, the ego thinks we're better than everything else, but we're all made of the same. We're all made of stardust. So once we decide to look at our commonalities instead of our differences and see that it's all the same, we all have the same struggles. It sounds different, but it's basically always the same. And yeah, Krishnamurti's Jiddu Krishnamurti's idea of world peace. I'm sure it's possible, and I think he was probably ahead of his time. And I'm feeling the more and more that I see about that's changing in the rhetoric of mental health, and the videos I see, and people talking about their problems openly, especially famous people, where we're sold the idea that's going to make you happy. And sharing the vulnerabilities, I'm sure it's going to it can possibly lead to a massive change in our world. So I'm sorry for whatever happened to you, but I'm trying to say, like, it's in your power, it's in your strength, it's in you. You have it. We want to fight. We're weeds. We get smacked down. We got wind. We've got people dying around us, but like, we're still gonna grow. We're still gonna, if we have an open mind, we're gonna succeed. Succeed is the wrong word. We're gonna grow. We're gonna keep growing forever. So until we eventually die, which we have to accept. But yeah, like, I heard something. Every day we live is one day closer to your death. And I'm like, yeah, that's sort of in line with what Krishnamurti is saying. Die to yourself every day. So accept that it's possible you're gonna die today. Accept that what happened today is over. It's done. It is what it is. And leave it behind you in the past where it belongs. Ruminating, thinking, overthinking, worrying, it's all wasted energy that we need for life. We need to enjoy. We need so that we can see the butterflies, that we can see the beauty around us. Yeah. Yeah. You're responsible for change in your life. You're responsible for facing your problems, your issues, your fears. And unfortunately, there's nothing I can do to change that other than reason with you, because it's perfectly reasonable that you're going to be running from your fears all your life. So it's either dying in fear or facing them and then enjoying life the way that you thought adulthood was going to be like when you were a child. That's what it's like. It's humble, it's simple, but peace of mind is, as soon as you have it, like, you'd never go back to the chaos and conflict and drama that you used to have burring up your brain. So yeah, so you're enough to do it. You don't need me, don't need anything, no time, no later, no. You can do it right now. Accept yourself for who you are and forgive yourself for the past. Forgive others for what they've done to you. Like, even if they're unforgivable offenses, it doesn't mean that you go to the person. Like, I'm not going to go to my rapist and say I forgive you, but I forgave him in my mind. I went like, well, his mind must have been pretty messed up to do that to a child, so I don't think he's really that happy anyway. So, like, like, something must have caused him to do this. I don't know. Hating him is too much work. So I'd rather just forgive and accept that that's what happened. So, yeah. And it's leaving the past behind, and we don't realize how much effort it is to drag it on. And this is what is easily visible in other people. And this is what I'm trying to talk against, because I'm watching people do this. And I just wish I could something I say or a magical wand that could make people just go like, oh, that's in the past. There's nothing I can do to change it anymore. Okay, cool. So let's see what we can do right now. Where are we now? And one day maybe I'll find it. I'm pretty sure you'll find it first, because it's not up to me, it's up to you. you're responsible for change. You're responsible for radical change. The radical revolution is not possible with Krishnamurti alone. It's not possible with me alone. The radical revolution is everybody understanding this is the truth, and as soon as you understand it, you automatically want to help people see the same, because it's evident that every human being is living in this fog, and most children live free of the fog in their brain: conflict, worries, drama. So we used to have it, then we lost it. So I'm sure we can gain it back. I was fortunate to gain it back by listening to Krishnamurti, and you can do exactly the same. There's nothing special about me at all. You can do, it's just accepting yourself. It's nothing outlandish, it's nothing magical, it's nothing divine. It's ignoring all those people that tell you you weren't good enough. Going like, actually, I'm alright. I'm all okay just as I am. I don't need to get a promotion or whatever. It's all good. And that state of arrival, then that is where you stay. You're no longer searching, chasing, escaping, struggling, fighting. It's all gone. It's just quietening of the mind. And that's what Krishnamurti was talking about with lots of energy. You have so much energy, and that's actually scientifically explainable with the neurons firing and the loss of energy. So he's absolutely on point, even beyond his death. Thank you very much for listening, and yeah. Thank you very much for listening. I'm just trying to say, like, please stop running, because you're going to run all your life. But I'm trying not to give you a direct order or anything like that. But like, it's just like, if you could just understand how harmful the running is. Like, it's easy to see from the, well, I was there, I lived that life, and now I'm free from it, and I know, because I'm sick as well, so now it's even more important, or even more noticeable, what a great change this mind state of living in the present moment. It's a phenomenal change. It's unbelievable. You won't believe it until you live it, and I'm just here to try and tell you you can do it. I believe in you. I don't know you, but I know that every human being used to be happy. Now we're living in conflict. We're blaming other things, but we need to take responsibility. If I go like, oh yeah, I'm unhappy because I got raped, it's like, yeah, well, I can live like that all my life, and I'm going to be unhappy about that forever. But if I'm taking responsibility, it doesn't mean that I went in there willingly. No, it was a shitty situation. I needed to accept. Doesn't mean it was right or wrong or just or whatever. It's just a matter of my brain accepting that that's what happened, and not rationalizing, justifying, whatever. Yeah. Thank you very much for listening. I'll finally shut up. No waiting. It's available to you right now. Thank you very much for listening. Talk to you soon. One love.